been about 400 days since I made a video, and so it's about time I got back to it. So I'm just enjoying a little bit of time outside in my tent in the garden today because it's just an absolutely beautiful day. Sun is shining, and for the last week or so, it's been weird. We've had something I've never really noticed with the weather before. Very high pressure, so kind of should have been clear and sunny and quite cold because it's winter. But actually, the skies were completely covered in cloud. And this is the question, okay? And I don't know the answer really. I'm just asking about this. Chemtrails. Can't really be sure that chemtrails is actually what's going on. But at the same time, we can't be sure it isn't. And, the jury's out, I suppose. But the thing that really exercises me and concerns me is that there's absolutely no way of saying that it definitely isn't chemtrailing, because the technology to actually do that was created way back in the 1940s. It's kind of 80 years ago. And for a lot of people will say, no, it absolutely can't be that. That's just mad. That's a crazy idea. They can't do that. And, they absolutely can. It's on record. It's completely admitted. It's open public knowledge. Just that I guess a lot of people would rather not believe that kind of thing. Because it becomes a worry, doesn't it? But then if you know a thing's going on, you stand a chance of actually doing something about it, which is a great thing then. That is actually quite positive when you can do something about it. And what can we do? Pretty well nothing in the short term. But politicians, they need our acquiescence. They're always telling us they don't need us, to approve of what they do. But they really do, or at least they really should do. Things have changed so much, I know, but really, really, governments are supposed to be public servants. They are supposed to be doing what's in our best interest, and everything they do should be some kind of public service in line with what people actually want to happen. So once we actually get a handle on what's going on and start having petitions and protesting about it, there's always that chance that something can happen about it. We've got a cat coming past now. Hello, puss. And so I think it's good to face the facts, face the truth, and to know about these things. If anyone's in any doubt, this is well documented. And another application of the same thing, which is arguably good, arguably bad as well, was at the time of the big Chernobyl nuclear disaster, when the nuclear power station in Chernobyl blew up. The sky was full of radioactive droplets of water, and they were blowing in clouds towards the big cities of Russia. And so the Russian Air Force went up and fired silver iodide into the clouds to make it rain over the countryside, to minimize the amount of people who actually got killed or got exposed to really highly lethal levels of radiation. And that is very well documented, because it's a rare example when kind of chemical goings on under, behind the scenes chemicals goings on are actually causing something positive to happen, and I dare say saved a lot of lives. Also, I dare say killed a lot of people in the Russian countryside, and you've got to wonder, is that a good thing? I mean, on balance, I suppose it saved more lives than it took. But it's never a good thing to kill anybody, is it? It's always something of a tragedy when someone passes. Even if it's someone you don't like, there's always the sadness that that person didn't live long enough to learn the error of their ways or something like that. But these are heavy, heavy things, and I come out into the garden here, and I'm in my tent. It's Dutch Army Special Forces desert pattern tent. It's kind of quite big for what it is, and quite comfortable. My head's rubbing on the top, as you can probably hear. Not much I can do about that because it's not that big, but it's great to be out in a tent and just out in nature. And we've really so much lost touch with all that, haven't we? And with that, we've lost touch with just laughter. I was wondering what to call this video. Hello, Puss. You laughing today? Oh, she's laughing. Come on, go on. Show yourself. No, she's not having that. Okay, I was going to show you, but she is not having any of that. That is Tinkerbell, my amazing tabby cat. All right, so we're just taken away from the general idea of laughter, the general idea of enjoying life, because nature is very sympathetic to that, and nature is being taken away from us all the time. So my house isn't far at all. I certainly don't fancy going wild camping when the weather's like it is. It's a beautiful day, but it is absolutely freezing. So I've got my thick woolly jumper on. But nature is really, I think, that the biggest casualty in everything to do with the modern world, because we're constantly being drawn, further and further away from nature. And that's not just us being taken out of nature, it's the nature being taken out of us as well. And we're all complicit in this. We're all a part of the problem, if you like, because we are natural creatures. We are meant to be out here, I suppose. Of course, over time we've evolved and we're much happier and more comfortable with houses to live in. Excuse me. I know I am, and I'm very glad I've got a place to live. Gosh, so many people don't, but even the homeless people who actually have to live in tents, if they're lucky, that's just a point worth making. People who have to live in tents just because they're homeless tend to be stuck in the cities in their tents. And that's kind of a shame as well. I think if I was ever homeless, I'd want to get as far away from the city as possible. But that's just me. That's just my opinion. I guess there's more facilities in towns and cities, but depending on that, all that dependence, the dependence culture that we live in, isn't it? And all that dependence is just constantly taking us further and further away from nature, further and further away from everything that sustains us, I guess. There's a big problem in UK at the moment with farmers coming under attack, and there's actually one very senior figure who has been known to advise the government of the day. Excuse me, he's been known to advise the government of the day. He's saying we don't need farmers in Britain. We can import all the food we want. And something like this happened in the 1980s when the government decided we didn't need coal mines anymore. And they weren't great jobs down coal mines, I don't think it was a very happy existence, but it fed people and it clothed people. And it made us independent, of other countries for our fuel. We were able to generate power, everything that we really needed, because we actually had coal in this country being taken out of the ground, and that was more or less done away with. It's nearly all imported now, and so that's just the way that we depend on other countries. Well, coal is almost a thing of the past in terms of having a coal fire in your house and getting your heating that way, but really, for every nice clean volt of electricity that comes out of the plugs or the lights or whatever, there is a ton of some kind of fossil fuel being burned somewhere, and a lot of wind power as well. But those windmills are an environmental problem in their own right. Some people don't like the look of them. I sort of quite do like the look of them, because it just feels like the future, and kind of somehow things are getting better and slowly things are getting cleaner. But not that clean really, because those things can't be recycled, Anyway, I'm sure at some point, minutes and minutes ago, I was talking about what I was going to call this video. And I was going to call it, Does Anyone Remember Laughter? Because it's a line from a Led Zeppelin song, isn't it? Stairway to Heaven. Does anybody remember laughter? The forests will echo with laughter. Does anybody remember laughter? And, well, I remember laughter. Some people say I laugh too much. But, well, hey, what's wrong with being happy? I'm sure that's the most important thing, So whatever happens, friends, I'm going to draw this to a close. It's going on and on. I'll be back with another video before too long. Take care of yourselves. And do remember to laugh. And try and spend a bit of time outside in nature if you can. If you can't, if you're too far away from nature, just spend some time thinking about nature, focusing on nature, remembering what it is. That's what it's all about. See you again. Peace.